It's been a complex sort of situation in regards to these selections. Defensively, obviously, haven't got Jane and also Curtin. So, you know, that's a bit of firepower that's come out of that defence end. And obviously, Amelia Ann, where she is as well in her level of readiness. So, you know, our bookends, not necessarily are they light, but also had to really think about the strategy we want to put out on against the opposition in the big three, what I call the big three: England, Jamaica, Australia. And also the complexity around illness, what they physically can and can't do, the timing of that to get them over the line in testing, what that means, around strategy, as I mentioned, but also around the benchmarks or the standards that we're looking for per position. Not necessarily around the individual. A goal shoot's got to shoot 40 shots up, you know, to be an international world-class player. Goal attack's got to shoot. You've got to have 24 shots up. So, you know, these little things, these statistics that take you away from the subjective that we were very focused on, and in regards to objective data. So we've been doing a lot of work behind the scenes for maybe about the last 2 years. The opportunity was given to a lot of players since September of last year when England came over. We had the men's, we had quad series, we've done feedback galore to players, we've worked with ANZ clubs, we've had specialist skill sessions. So I would like to think, hand on my heart, that individuals know what was required, and it was just whether the timing was right for them, the readiness, if they were ready, and also whether they were able to put what they needed to out on court. So unfortunately, I suppose it wasn't a paintbrush where everybody, it was one sort of rule for everybody, because everyone had a different story. So it was quite complex to be able to put the jigsaw puzzle together, and it's only one stage. You know, we've got quite a few stages to go. The fitness side came in when I came in for 2019 for the Worlds, and that was off the 10 reviews that we had previously, or the 10 years of reviews, which is a consistent message around us not being fit enough, especially probably exposed when we got to the business end. So bringing that decision in was based around that, but also our ability to play an explosive game in a style that's fast, repetition of movement. So for that to happen, you have to be actually physically capable, not only from a fitness point of view, but also from being able to handle the loads. So we play 7 games in 10 days, but also within the international, also with an environment, we train twice a day, sometimes 3. So we don't have very many days together. So fitness-wise it's important for us. Otherwise, if you're not fit, then the load that's put on others is probably detrimental to the team. So hence that's the reason why. You know, we rely hugely on the ANZ coaches. Over the last 2 or 3 years, we have touch point meetings. This is the Silver Fern management with also the club management, very clear around where players are at, not only fitness-wise, but also stats and the feedback that's given to individuals and how we can work together. So, you know, I know for some it's actually a mental shift that they have to make. I know for some when they haven't got the engine, because I can see that, but also mentally for them to actually tough it out, grind it out, and go past that point of pain. And I always say that that's what we need in the team, is that grunt, is that determination, is that commitment, which is the other side of what the fitness testing does. So, you know, I know that there's some really good people that have missed out on these selections of 12, but also we do wrap around a lot of support around how we can actually push them or how we can help ANZ to get them better. But in saying that, it's stuck. You know, there's so many people within this team, or the Silver Ferns, that I've either sent home, even our legends of our sport, our past spine, who actually struggled to get to it. But it would be doing a disservice if we didn't keep to what we've been preaching about. And we know the difference when somebody is fit and when they're not. So, yeah, it's just one of those things that unfortunately some people can, and they're ready or they're not. Personally, I don't think it's a high level. If I had my way, I actually put it higher, if I'm going to be honest. And that's one of the things that I learnt over in Australia. So, and when I look at the Australian game, the speed, the repetition of actions or movements is sublime. So, you know, that's where I actually got the courage to be able to bring this into New Zealand. I believe it's our 101. I believe it's physically is our body. That's our tool. And you've got to be capable of running what you need to so that the intensity is high and the quality of netball is high. So I just feel, you know, we just got to get over some of the stuff that we're actually been talking about and putting so much things around the fitness standards, where it should be 101 of what's expected as a high-performance athlete, as a full-time athlete, but especially as an athlete who's representing your country. And for us in Silver Ferns, that stays. You know, I never went into these selections thinking I'm going to pick the most experienced or I'm going to pick the youngest. Very clear around the benchmarks, the skill sets that's required, the stats that we've been tracking people over not only ANZ now, but if they got into international, what that looked like against world-class opponents. Been tracking their loads, their physical loads during ANZ, what those numbers look like, and their robustness or injury management. These things are really important, once again, so that when the 7 or the 12 players take that line, they know everybody is ready. And that's so important for our confidence. So, you know, there's been, when I look at our shooting end, definitely we've got height. Got height to burn in that shooting end. When I look at the big 3 teams that we're playing up against and the players that we have, we've got a moving circle, we've got a holding circle. I would like to think we've got smart players out there. When we play against Jamaica, the ball has to be on point in regards to the feeds. Otherwise, we've got to get in front and we've got to protect the front space. So with the players that we have, we've got that variety, but we've also, apart from Grace, who is a specialist goal shoot, we've got players that will put up the shot volume. Volume's really important to us, and you can't quiver from putting the shot up. There is areas to improve on in regards to accuracy, but if you have shooters that aren't even looking at the post, that's really hard mentally for them to change their habits or their ways. So I feel these 4 players are the highest volume shooters that we have within in New Zealand, plus also the adaptability to play different game style. Our mid-court, which I call our engine room, always synonymous with fitness, with speed to burn, but also that consistency. So that's what I was looking for. I suppose there's, once again, we've got 3 deep in each position, and that's the same in the shooting. Probably Gina, once again, is our only specialist wing attack, as Grace's specialist goal shoot. Shannon has come out of centre position, so we know that she can slide. Whitney, who people got to watch out with this girl, centre, she is sublime. So we know that she can slide as well, centre wing attack. Probably the biggest thing that Whitney got over some of her other amazing other centres who put their hand up in trials is that she can feed. So the numbers out of all 3 of our forward line, Gina, Whitney, and also Shannon, we need 40 plus feeders who can take it, you know, who can feed into the circle. So those numbers are really important to us. On the contrast, when I think of a change-up between either a Whitney, a Shannon to a Kate, we've got the height in there. Kate is defensively strong. So having a defensive strong centre where she can shift from centre to wing defence as well, it enables us to play our New Zealand game style. Our New Zealand game style is the zone. We don't play man on man. So to have people, once again, that can take up a lot of space is really important and very valuable for the style that we play out on court and our ability to adapt depending on the opposition. So when I look at our mid-court, we've got, once again, variety. We know that we can cover 3 deep in each position, but also when I make changes, everybody is different and they're unique. So when I do make changes, there's a point of difference when they do come out on court. That's what I'm excited by. When I look in our defence end, you know, we've only just cut in with her injury. That sort of put a bit of a cog, or the wheel sort of dropped off a wee bit. So we had a re-look at what our defensive patterns are going to look like. And obviously as well with Jane. So I would like to think all 4 of them can play in 3 I can adapt. I've just got to find which piece and where they sit. Definitely Kelly's in the back, and I think she's had a sublime goal keep position and for pulse, but also last year she played goal defence. Usually when you have a goal keep, if they are sliding, usually goal keeps go from goal keep to wing defence. And we know what Anna looked like when she played wing defence in Commonwealth Games, so we might have a wee look at that. We know Kayla can do wing defence, but also in the quad series she was quite strong when she slid over to goal defence. So we've got the change up where you do have space marking with a Sulu, with a Phoenix, with a Kelly. But also the speed of a Kayla if we put her in the circle as well. But all 4 of them are massive. The big woman, but also ball getters. And that was really important. I suppose our stats that we look for is volume of shot, is feeds into the circle, it's gains and minimal turnovers. And pretty much we have preached those to individuals, which once again has formed the benchmarks of position as to the skill sets that we've been looking for. So when I wrap that up, we don't have a starting 7. That's very, very, very odd, rare territory for me. I'm an old school person, but I think we had to look differently at the current group of people that we have. We're no longer the World Cup team with the spine that we had, where you knew you had 7, starting 7. If probably what shone out to me out of the ANZ is you cannot rely on one person, because if that one person goes down, then the whole strategy goes down. We have to be adaptable. We play England, we play Jamaica, who's got the hops, and we play Aussie. I don't know in what sequence we will, but we have to have players that can play certain game style. We can't be one-track pony. So I think to some degree, this is what this 12 represents, a wee bit different way that we've gone in the past, but that's the way that we've had to go to be unpredictable, to put something out there that's totally different from what other teams have seen of us from quad, and strategically, that's how it's been set up. So I'd like to go, we go into Commonwealth Games, no one knows what we're going to do, because I think we've got to squeeze every little thing out of individuals and ensure that they do their job. What excites me about the Com Games is we've really flipped ourselves apart in regards to court strategy, looked at our ways that we could be better, but also used the expertise of other coaches to see what knowledge we could glean from them, and what wise words of wisdom that we could change our strategy. That's really, really exciting. And I would like to think with the new people that are in, but also the established, there is maybe to some degree they grow 2 feet tall when they wear the black dress. And I think, once again, to go to Commonwealth Games is something that you just don't take for granted. So if you're not excited by that, you shouldn't be here. So there's a lot of things that I feel coming out of the selections. I can see it, what it looks like in Birmingham. I know what it looks like. The excitement is getting there, and getting there within this time frame. I wrap myself around some really good people, and people who will tell me right to the eye as to what I'm doing or not doing, and I value these people. I've also probably identified where our gaps are, not only on court and off court, and have gone to rope people in to help us to be better. So my job is orchestrating, and whether it's me doing certain things or somebody else stepping up to the mark, I'm fine with that, as long as we get the job done. So I am massively challenged at the moment because where we are. And it's something I'm diving into a new repertoire of skills. And for that, I've leaned on quite a lot of other people to help me work through that. But because of that and where we've got to, I am excited. And I know, and I can see it, and I can taste it, and I know how to get there. So it's taken me a wee while to get to this space, but I'm really confident with the work that we've done behind the scenes, and we just got to keep chipping away to get to the outcome. But I know what it is. And that's all that matters. Sport is about winning, and our messaging and our talks has been about winning the Commonwealth Games. Our talk has also been about being gold medalist trainers, being gold medalists, physically ready, mentally, robust. Everything that we do on court must be about gold medal standards, hence making sure that everybody is ready and sticking to that, being quite pure around that. I think that's really important. I do believe when you do get to tournaments that those attention to detail matters. And I do believe when you think of coaching from one coach to another that experience also counts. So we're going for it. I'm going to go for it. I'm not going to say there's a bit of luck, but it's going to be tough. And for us to even get to the grand finals, we will have to squeeze every little thing we've got. But nothing's impossible. And I think that's the most exciting thing. Nothing is impossible. So why not? I always think, why not? Why not dream big? Why hold ourselves back? So that's the space that we have to work and walk into as a team, as individuals, and doing our job. That's the space we're going to push each other in, and I can't wait.